Hi everyone, don't forget this Saturday night, the 28th of October, live on DR Sports, we will be featuring the Battle of the Baddest. Tyson Fury, the current WBC heavyweight champion of the world, he takes on the former UFC champion of the world, Francis Ngannou, in a crossover fight being labelled the Battle of the Baddest. You can watch it live on DR Sports from 9 o'clock with myself and 5 others in the studio. Make sure you tune in.
And make sure you tune into that stream on DR Sports. Lee, you weren't saying some nice things there. You're not. You've done a lot of these ads. Come on, what are you so for?
And that's why I've probably been a bit critical of him there. You know, he looked a bit stiff there.
You're the movie star of these things, aren't you? So you can talk to Lloyd about that. Yeah,
because I'll give him, a bit of one-to-one coaching on that. Like,
have you seen his chain?
I've seen his chain, like, you know what I mean?
He's not poor, he's not even.
Poor Lloyd's poor difficult. Lloyd
will be on the watch along and he'll get the chance to reply.
I'm going to be really honest with you. He used to be like managing the office. Now he's sort of like doing some presenting and all that, and suddenly he's got a £16 million chain. Like. he's doing all right. Like. I think I better go and see Robbie.
Same, actually, you're right. Since that
That's one hell of a promotion, that is, I tell you. Like, you know what I mean?
His bag's gone up.
Welcome back to the Starting 11 show, everyone. Arsenal face Sheffield United. In about 25 minutes or so, we'll find out what Arsenal 11 is going out there. Difficult one to predict because of injuries, we'll discuss. But also, this is a chance for Arteta to mix things up. Now we've got West Ham in the week, and we had 2 difficult away games going into this game. Here to break it all down, of course, you've already seen him. Mr. Voldemort on the right. We have Cecil G. We have Julian. And we have
Halloween is perfect for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad costume, my dear.
Oh, Peter's wearing one now.
No, not
Lee, he's actually Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's really soon.
That would have been good.
And after this, you'll be looking like that. You know what I mean? But it's nice to see Cecil. Where's Robbie?
Oh, I think he's late.
Yeah, Halloween party or something. Is he like, he's got back from it?
No, I don't know. Bossy, I can't question the boss. I questioned him too much on the Saka stuff a few weeks ago.
Oh, that was good though.
He hasn't spoken to me since. So.
He don't hold a grudge then.
And of course, the Chelsea-Brentford game is going on, so we'll keep an eye. And we managed to go through the whole intro without a round of applause, which will make Turkish incredibly happy.
Perfect.
But who knows? Maybe it'll come up just later in the show, very randomly, if you're lucky. How are you, Turkish? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Expecting a nice, comfortable victory today.
A nice, comfortable win, the dog.
That's been one of those where, because we give our opinions, on the public platform, what we want to say, let's be honest, is we should be getting the goals, we should get the 3 points, we should be finding our fluidity, we should be really just enjoying our football against a team that have 1 draw and 8 defeats. But like I said on the preview, I've supported Arsenal long enough to know that sometimes you're going to get knocked out by Bradford in the cup.
Yeah, but it depends how often that sometimes is. And if you look
quite
back,
often at Arsenal.
No, it's not.
Not in the last 2 years, but
exactly. And look at Sheffield United. It's not only a case of that they've got 1 point out 9 games, but they've got minus 17 goal difference. Newcastle have put 8 past them.
Oh,
look at that!
He's ranked out this morning on the way.
You are in for. You are in for a
tactical insight.
You're in trouble, James.
No, listen. It's the truth. I mean, that is what we're playing against today. So it's not about just getting the 3 points, which I think we're all comfortable and confident that that's going to happen. But it's about getting that goal difference back.
Why does this just scream 1-0 down after 10 minutes, slogging it away, and if we win, it'll be like a 2-1?
No, because there's what we should be doing against them, and there's the reality of what we are. It could be.
Yeah.
And then there's the outcome.
It
could all be very different because
the 11 plays a factor.
The way I see it today, I think we should smoke them. Yeah. But the reality is, against low blocks, we have tended to struggle. This season, regardless of low blocks, our chance creation has taken a hit.
Brentford should have gone 1-0 up at Chelsea, by the way. Carry on, sorry, Turkish.
So our chance creation has taken a hit this season, as well as low block tending to be our kryptonite at times. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a hard-fought 2-0 victory or a hard-fought victory in the end. But the reality is, what we should be doing is 3-4-0 in them.
Does our strongest 11 break down a low block though?
But Jesus is key to that. And when you don't have Jesus, the thing is, when you don't have Jesus, you are limited in what you can do in that position. Trossard's the most like for like who can potentially drag defenders out of position for sure. But I know Mikel's going to go with either Havertz or Eddie Nketiah, one or the other.
We're going to have to go through these positions now, break it down. Before I do, production, I can't actually find the live stream on my iPad. I don't know if you guys have it up on your phone.
No.
So if you're all watching this pod, we'll get to your comments and take your thoughts. I've been told to refresh, but still not finding it. But anyway, we'll carry on with the show, and I'm sure, there it is, found it. That's typical. The minute I ask, of course it pops up. I knew the comments were there. All right, cool. The positions in question. Before we go into them, we've got to talk about the injury situation that is putting us into particular positions. Lee, you joined Laurie for a discussion on Jesus and Partey. Where's the line between injuries are unfortunate, no player means to get injured, and we shouldn't blame them, and we just got to take our medicine and get on with it? And where does that creep onto, that's it? Like, not your fault, sure, but I'm reaching a point where, you know, I can't rely on you. I can't consider you a regular member of the squad.
Yeah, I think it's now. I think, like, you know, you can look back at youth team players and all that, like professional footballers. But some professional footballers can't become professional footballers because they can't train every single day. Their bodies can't do it. And then in the end you have to make a decision. Even though he's a really good player, you have to let him go. It's the same now with Thomas Partey. I think that Thomas Partey is a fantastic footballer. I think with me, he makes midfield look so easy. But unfortunately, we're here now. He's not playing. And what's the most frustrating thing is he's come back. He's sort of done a couple of games with Ghana, which was a good thing really, I think, to get him some match fitness where we didn't have the pressure of him coming to Arsenal. He breaks down again. Now listen, we had a fantastic player in Diaby, and it wasn't his fault. It's not his fault that he got injured and the injuries that occurred. You feel sorry for him, but at the end of the day, it is professional sport. You've got to be available.
He'll be known for his injuries more than what he's done at Arsenal, I reckon, by the end, because that's what happens to injured players. It's a shame. It's to be the 53rd game that he's missed for injury. It's not good enough, man. And you made a great point there. When you're going for a youth team or if you're going and signed for a professional club, they look at your injury history. They look at if you have, for example, scoliosis, or if you come back from a knee injury. I know Zach Anser was at Arsenal. He had an ACL injury, and after that, he never played for the club. So, like, injuries. As it gets to the point it's not their fault, but go on.
Sorry, the thing with that though, I understand an ACL injury having a longer term impact on a player. That is just so unfortunate. And I don't think I'll ever blame a player in that situation. You might ask what the difference is. And actually, I never blame a player in any situation. But when I keep hearing that Partey keeps getting injuries, you know, in training, muscle injuries in training, it's just like, oh my word. We cannot rely. To the point where, if you asked me 2 weeks ago what our best 11 looked like, Partey was in there.
Yeah.
Now it's not, because I cannot believe he's going to be available.
No,
he's just not.
But it's a great, like, if you've got a Rolls Royce I always say this: you've got a Rolls Royce on your drive, and you've got a full Puma. We'll say the full
I was about to say that's a good car.
Right. But like, you keep going to you're going to go to the Rolls Royce straight away. You know what I mean? But if it's not starting all the time, eventually you're gonna get rid of it. And I think that's where the case is now. And I know it's a tough thing, but that is professional sport. You know, if without saying really, like, oh, he can talk about it. He's never here, Robbie. Like, you know what I mean? He's always late. Eventually, like, at the end of the day,
eventually you phase him out.
You phase him out. He's gone. You know what I mean? But like, if you ain't turning up for presenting every day, eventually you're going to say you're not reliable, right? Which happens, isn't it? Like, you know, you're not reliable. It's the same with a professional footballer, isn't it? Like, if you're not turning up, you know, Saturday afternoon, when match day is if you're not turning up for that, eventually, I think you will, as a manager as well, get fed up with it.
Yeah, but there is other factors involved, which is number one, how much is he costing us? And number two, how much can you get for him? Because if he's that injury prone, are other clubs going to come in to buy him with that kind of record?
Well, I think he's got a year left of his contract, hasn't he? After this year, I think it's.
Yes. So you've got to look how much is he costing? How much is he costing? And how many games are you getting out of him?
I don't even think it's that. Well, what car did you say? Rolls Royce and what?
Royce. And a Ford Puma.
We've had a lot of Pumas over the years, but you see the way I look at it, is when you've got a Rolls Royce, add a G-Wagon, and the G-Wagon is your day-to-day, and you use the Rolls Royce when you need it, on the big occasions. That's on the club, that's on Arsenal. We tend to discuss the player all the time. Is this a surprise? Is anyone surprised Partey's got an injury? No one should be surprised because consistently for 3 years now he's been getting injuries.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is the club haven't let us in. You know, if we're calling Jorginho a Puma here and then a Puma here, who's left us in a position where behind the Rolls Royce we have a Puma?
But it's Declan Rice. I know it's not the exact same position all the time, but Declan Rice.
Yeah, but then he's bought a Puma in the 8.
But
So the G-Wagon we bought to replace Partey, which is Declan Rice.
Yeah.
You know, he's having to do the
it's
Puma
just
job
a
in
great-
the
it's a
London.
great-
Is how little I know my cars.
Yeah, I am as well. I don't know what a G-Wagon is, do you?
Great points made, and you're right. Actually, if we're in a situation where we know Partey has injury problems, we sign Rice, fantastic, love that because he's playing the 6 a lot. You're right. The idea was to build on top of having Xhaka and having an injury-prone Partey. What we've done is sold Xhaka, brought
that's the
players home to
mistake.
play in Partey's position, and then addressed the number 8 with someone who we don't believe is good enough and might actually end up being a striker. So then you go £100 million, if you include Vieira's, £140 million later.
We still
Why are
haven't
these
done-
positions not really addressed? And that's where I think the frustration is because
got a great system.
because
It's a great point.
you know when you look at so there was a great point made on Twitter. Look at Tomiyasu. Now, he's had injury problems. We've had these conversations about Tomiyasu. But what are the conversations today about Tomiyasu? He should start. He's brilliant form. We love him to bits. We don't have a player quite like him. The versatility is fantastic. Yeah, because he's shown a degree of fitness and he's shown reliability and he's kind of earned his way back into that conversation. But it's taken him 2 and a bit months of the season to get to a point where we're now saying in a Premier League game, start him.
Yeah.
And that's because we value the quality that's there in Partey, in Tomiyasu, and in Jesus to a degree, but they have to be reliable. And I think that's a big part as to why Tierney didn't make it here. He's now 3 months out in Sociedad. It's just like, come on.
Exactly that, you know, and it's been a common theme with Arsenal players for a very, very long time. And are we going to start getting into the Jesus bracket now?
He's out again.
He's out again, you know what I mean? Like, this is like 4 injuries now, is it? Since he's...
They all stem from that 1 knee injury.
22
which is,
games.
again, where my sympathy for Jesus, if he misses... Here's the thing with Jesus, why I treat his side differently. Maybe it's not been going on as long as Partey, but when he's had a very serious knee injury that required surgery, Brentford have scored, and it meant...
like Pinnock.
and it meant that he was going to be out for 4 months, and he's had a few muscle injuries around the same area because of that. I am much more sympathetic. I'm much more sympathetic to the fact that Arsenal are going to go, and we said it in all the previews building up to it, if he's even 1% off, Arsenal won't play him. So we all knew their position with Jesus. But the Partey one, to hear last kick of ball in training before Sevilla, and he's, pulled a muscle again, you just think, I think on his day, Thomas Partey can be world class. But you're never going to be discussed in that bracket if you're never available to prove it. Because consistency is a part of being world class. His talent is there for me. But he just...
But you know what it is? But look at Stones at City.
Yeah.
Stones plays 25 games a season. Everyone deems him world class, which is fair enough because he puts in a world class shift. But why does he play 25 games a season? Because he can. Because they have enough in the squad to be able to utilise players at different.
We haven't missed
periods
Partey,
of the.
No,
we haven't.
We 100% have missed Partey, in my opinion. 100%.
Yeah, I think we have. I think in terms of build-up,
one of the main factors of our chance creation this season dropping is not having Partey in the middle, in my opinion. The transition from that part of midfield into the
but when he's been available, he hasn't chosen to play in there, has he?
But exactly.
But he's only been available at the beginning of the season.
What?
He was only available really at the beginning of the
Yeah, but
season.
he wasn't playing midfield, was he?
No, but then I think he realised that where he was playing him wasn't working out, and he needed to bring Gabby back into the team. I don't think he'd go back to do.
That's why he left out the team.
Yeah, exactly. But I think he's realised since Gabby's come back into the team that you can't mess with that centre-half pairing.
Let's sorry, Cecil. Sorry. Let's move on slightly because we had 2 11 sent in. Remember, you can let us know what 11 you want to see. Download the AFTV Plus app and you can do the 11 selector. It's great fun, easy to do. Chelsea are in behind, by the way, but Brentford defending well. 1-0 up the bridge. 11s were sent in. We want to show them here on the screen to you because there's something very interesting about both that were sent through and more discourse that was going on online. So we can just get them up on screen. Here we are. Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. That's what Campbell Lloyd wants to see with Vieira, Rice, Trossard in a midfield 3. Interesting. Saka, Havertz, Martinelli. Let's just go on to the second as well. Another one that fans want to see, if we can just bring it up. Yep. Again, the midfield of Vieira, Rice, Smith Rowe, Trossard on the left, Martinelli up top, Zinni in the 11 instead. Ramsdale gets a start. Is there one position in particular that's standing out to people? Because there is one for me.
Smith Rowe's position, that midfield.
Odegaard being left there.
That's very much what I was thinking.
Which a lot of fans are speaking about.
Fans are getting to a point where they're thinking maybe Martin Odegaard should come out of the team. I know, Lee, you're not.
No,
I'm not with that either.
No, I'm not with that. Listen,
It's not about bringing them out of the team as such to drop him. It's just giving him a little rest.
Isn't this an opportunity to play him into form, maybe, with all due respect to Sheffield?
No, I just think he needs to be taken out for a week with games.
he'll be taken out on Wednesday, Julian.
Yeah,
He won't play Wednesday.
You can take him out today, you can have him on the bench, and then you need to give Smith Rowe.
Yeah, been that bad. I agree with that. And then what, you're going to
Break
stick
it down
him?
for me,
Stick
because
him against
you were on the
Newcastle?
side here feeling really frustrated about the Odegaard stuff that was being said.
Yeah, I was, because at the end of the day, and listen, I agree with it, two sides of it, which I was having a conversation with someone on the train today, like, you know. Odegaard, my argument of Odegaard, he's got credit in the bank, right? So he shouldn't be dropped, he should be playing, like, you know. The fella said to me on the train today, well, Ramsdale's got credit in the bank, and he's been dropped. So if you're doing it with him, you should be doing it with him. You've done it with Zinchenko,
yep.
so you've got to do it with Odegaard.
Fair point.
I agree with that, like, you know. But I think that people have been a little bit disrespectful of the performance that he has. And listen, he hasn't played well in the last couple of games, right? I'll give you that. But he still works hard, he still puts a shift in.
He leads the press.
And that also gives other players in the team, when they work hard, places in the team. I also agree with, you know, if you can rest him for this game, but why rest him in this game when you're going to rest him on Wednesday? And if you was to rest him today and rest him on Wednesday, and then you're saying, right, bring him back against Newcastle away, that's a tough ask if you're out of form to say, all right, what? So sitting on your backside watching Big Brother is going to make you be a better player.
He's going to be on the bench. Not going to drop him completely out of the squad.
No, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't drop him out of the team like today. I really wouldn't. Like, you know, this is an opportunity for him to not get back into form, but just, you know, be what he is. And you know, he's just gone through a couple of bad games. The difference is, as we say about Zinchenko, is that Tomiyasu has come in, and you can't argue that. If someone's going to leave, if you're going to leave Odegaard out, someone's got to come in and nail it.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody has nailed anything in those sort of front positions.
You haven't given him a chance.
He hasn't had a
chance.
Who hasn't had a chance?
Smith Rowe.
Can I just jump in and say that Olly, who writes for the AFTV website, is telling us that apparently Martin Odegaard is going to be on the bench for this game, as is Gabriel.
Gabriel?
As in the centre-half, Gabriel.
Gabriel,
Does that mean Partey's back?
Magalhaes.
I'm not sure that's what it means.
So what, he's going to play Kiviard back there then? Is that what he's saying?
No, it might be Partey back at right back.
No, Partey's injured.
No, he can't.
He's injured?
Arteta said he's out for a few
Partey's
weeks.
injured, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Partey's injured. So Magalhaes, why would he? Yeah, I mean, it's Kivi. I don't want to sit up.
Smith Rowe? Smith Rowe gets
I also think that maybe today, you know, when you've got to think about today's game, which is a bit of a worry for me, today's game, going back to the game, is that you're asking players to play 3 games in 7 days now. So there's going to be a little bit of rotation to this squad today, definitely. You know what I mean? And with that, the cohesion goes a little bit. We definitely know that Jesus is not going to play.
Yeah.
So
Both those midfields there, they both interest me, I can't lie. Because Rice is a destroyer. He's someone that's going to win the ball back, and he's going to work hard, and he's going to cover the space of 2 man. Yeah. And when you look at who we've been competing with and who Arteta's learnt off, at times against weaker opponents that you're going to maybe struggle to break down if you don't have 2 10s or 2 8s, more so than, you know, an 8 that complements a 6 more. This might be the game to do that. And when I see Vieira and Trossard as the options in front of Rice, or Vieira and Emil Smith Rowe, I'm intrigued by it. And at the end of the day, I've just talked about how, you know, Pep uses his players at key times in the season. If we can't test something out against Sheffield United. Now listen, and people might look back, and I remember last season when we did Vieira and Odegaard in front of Partey against Bournemouth, we would go 2-0 down. I think the same happened against someone else as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it hasn't worked that well, but surely this season is that needs to come in where we can rotate the side and it doesn't cost us in terms of our performance level.
You didn't mention Havertz and Vieira.
Havertz should start up front for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see. Okay.
He should.
is that what? But you're saying Trossard should play up front.
Yeah, no, Trossard's the best player to play up front.
So
where are you playing? Where are you playing Havertz today?
Up front.
We've actually
then you're not playing.
That's Mikel. Because for me, it's a choice of Havertz and Eddie. Because that's what Mikel's going to go for, in my opinion. Havertz already. I can say Trossard's the best. Sorry, Jane. I can say Trossard's the best player for it. But he's going to pick out them two. And if I had to pick out them two,
we've actually got your thoughts on it, Turkish, from the Predict 11 show. Let's play that clip and hear what you had to say then.
Front three, Saka, Martinelli goes without saying. I think they start either side. Up top, I think Trossard's the best option for us. But I think long-term, Trossard isn't the answer that Arteta has had in mind for the questions he poses himself.
Yeah, I agree.
The answers for Mikel Arteta over the last couple of years, in my opinion, have been Eddie Nketiah and more recently Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Kai Havertz.
Okay.
To give him the opportunity to do something, in the final third, not just off the ball, provides. And I think the way Sheffield United will set up, I think balls over the top will be key. And with his height and his ability to win aerial duels, I think we can see a big game, or we could have a good game from Kai. So as much as Trossard is probably the best option technically and quality-wise by far, and I wouldn't, if Trossard starts, I'd love it. I think Kai Havertz probably fits this game best for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, look, if you're going to spend £65 million on a player, you've got to find a way to make it work.
100%.
Whether it's up front or in midfield. And I'm quite open to whatever that looks like, but my word, we need to figure that out soon enough, surely.
And he needs to nail it and all. It's no good, like, Kai Havertz now has got to come into this team and he's got to nail it. He has got to start performing.
Got some super chats and thoughts going into this game. Just quickly, before I read them out, is anyone here in favour of wholesale changes?
I don't mind
he's making them.
I don't mind changes, but I don't know about wholesale. But I don't mind changes.
Three or four.
I
have a bit of a problem.
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
I have a bit of a problem with it. I mentioned in the Predict 11, I said start strong, then rotate, but there's 5 subs to be used. You could have just started strong, get the game done. I get a bit more worried when Arsenal do these wholesale changes, but
I also think that if he makes 3 or 4 today, it doesn't mean to say he's going to have to make all those changes on Wednesday. I think he's still having a little eye on that cup as well, So 3 or 4 today. 3 or 4
I don't mind
on
having
Wednesday.
an eye on that cup, I'll be honest.
No,
obviously he
I'm pleased that
can't
he is.
disrespect Sheffield United. But let's see. Mine's with the super chat says, any of you see the Ramsdale thread on Twitter? No, I haven't. I'll have a little look at it. Is it of all his saves, or I'm not sure? Let us know in the comments. Mine's. AFC Max says, Lee, have you learnt your lesson leaving Cecil in charge of booking hotels, leaving card details on Julian's card and waiting 2 hours to find the hotel plus 10 minutes to get into the hotel Robbie needed?
Yeah,
is that what happened?
Yeah, listen, there's no way he's booking it no more. Flights, Julian, well done.
I booked the flights. I booked them.
No, it was me that chose them. I gave you the alternatives and told you which ones to choose.
I chose Southend
and also on the hire car, I also told you exactly how to book it.
He said he might not be there.
No, I gave you 2 or 3 options, but I said to you, if it goes on my credit card, it has to be in my name. I told you that.
Well, the car was fine. We liked the car.
We
liked the apartment in the end as well.
Yeah.
The flights were fine. The only thing, obviously, there was about
But hold on a minute. Quickly before we go in it, like the car park was 20 minutes away from the hotel.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Right, and then
that's fair.
Where you said we was meant to be was another 30-minute walk.
How was check-in? I've been told to ask.
There wasn't a check-in. They'd all gone home by the time we got there.
There wasn't a check-in.
Yeah, but they were into your room. Okay.
There was no one at the check-in. It was too late.
So we had to find a key from somewhere. I was in the one there,
but it was a nice place to be.
I like to go into a hotel. Bit of background music when you walk in, and some receptionist going, "Good evening, sir." What's your booking number?
And it was all dark.
We was on some mystery. We was on a mystery chore. No reception, no nothing. When you finally check in, you can walk down to the bar and there's a drink waiting for you and all that sort of stuff.
Well, we've got a super chat from Alex. Says, "Afternoon, folks. Good to see you all here. I see Lee has no tan." I say 3-0 easy win. Does anyone know how to cook dodgy lasagna for Spurs?
Yeah.
They're looking good. Fair play. The 11's about to drop any second.
Are you nervous about this 11? Because I am.
Well, let me read you now, as we're a minute out from Arsenal confirming it, what Olly's put on the AFTV website. He's been spot on with team news and stuff, not just for Arsenal, across clubs. He says Arsenal go for David Raya in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Kivior and Zinchenko. So 2 changes to the back four, Kivior and Zinchenko coming in. Declan Rice starts with Havertz and Smith Rowe. So 2 changes, actually 3 for every position technically, because Rice is moving from the 8 to the 6.
That's not bad though.
Bukayo Saka captains Arsenal, Eddie Nketiah leads the line, and Martinelli on the left.
Yeah, Bukayo Saka's definitely
That
captain.
means that there's no
Captain.
Havertz.
I've seen that. Havertz is in there.
There's no Havertz.
Havertz in midfield.
Oh, Havertz in midfield. Okay.
Starts. Yeah,
I ain't too worried about that. Like, I would have, you know, and I'm going to say it now. Eddie, 2 goals in 30, has to step up today. Like, you know what I mean?
What does Trossard have to do to start? Why does
but he has
Trossard give
started,
us...
James. He has started and it hasn't been so convincing in his starts, in my opinion.
But last
Especially
season,
yes,
we went
not
on
this
our best
season.
winning run, 7 wins in a row.
What about Eddie and Havertz? Have they convinced you?
I don't know, but
So then,
no, but I'm saying
Trossard's
that.
better than Eddie and Havertz, bro. So you know, James is right to ask that question. I can't lie to you. I would have picked one of the two. 2 of the 2 is quite mad, but it's Sheffield United at home.
And also, if you're rotating,
but
come
still.
on, the goalkeeper should be rotating.
Yeah,
today,
agreed.
come on.
Agreed. That's fair.
I'm
It should
going to be
rotating.
honest here. Is that an 11 that can beat
Stunned for
Sheffield
Ramsey.
United?
Yes.
Absolutely it is. However,
The 11's out.
Can it lose?
I
Can it
think-
lose to Sheffield United as well? Absolutely.
well,
But anyone can lose to anyone. It's
That's
football.
right. So anybody, you know, that's true.
I'm concerned by the fact that
That was spot on,
that's
by the way.
quite
that
a
11.
lot. He's got spot
Spot
on,
on.
yeah. Ollie?
Spot on, by the way.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Well,
Go
I'll
check out the
tell you what,
AFTV website. Ollie always giving us
the,
exclusive team news.
The Gabriel one,
incredible.
don't forget, he's played 2 games in Brazil. He's done all that travelling and all that. Like, played Chelsea, played Seville, travelling. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing to risk.
Look, and I'm happy with us
Yeah, but he's a
rotating.
centre half. You don't do the same amount of
Not
running
so
at
much,
centre
that's all
half.
the travelling that goes with it, Junior. Like, you know?
He's in first class. He'll be fine.
I'm happy with
And
us
also, there's not much
rotating
time
to take
difference
West
to
Ham
go to Brazil.
seriously. I don't mind that.
How much? You'd know how much time difference is there in Brazil?
It's 2 hours.
Is it really? It's only 2
Yeah,
hours.
it's
I've
only
been
2 hours. If
I
you go
didn't know
straight
that.
down.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's really only 2 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Very impressed
so
by
the
that.
11's been confirmed. Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Jorginho, Elneny, Vieira, Erdegaard, Nelson and Trossard all on the bench. I think it's a weird one with Trossard because we went through a run of 7 wins in a row with Trossard leading the line in the false 9. Got the best out of Saka and Martinelli. And I just think to myself, why does Nketiah keep getting the nod when he's doing at best fine? At best fine. But Trossard's been coming on, does his thing against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge when he comes on. Came on against Sevilla, I thought, put in a very good shift. Fulham game, okay, started in the false 9, didn't look great. But one game, after everything he did last season...
Arteta is stubborn. Eddie Nketiah is his guy. He backs him to the high heavens. He makes sure...
Okay, but
that's
like-
what it's like a Xhaka thing. He wants to make, you know, the story of Eddie Nketiah be the next, the Xhaka and get the turnaround story. I don't agree with it at all as well. I think there is some truth in what you're saying, but...
Arsenal fans aren't looking for a win here. Arsenal fans are looking for
big win.
Big win, but fluidity, chance creation, something that resembles what we looked like last season. Because with all due respect against Sheffield United, we should have that. If we come away with this, even with like a 1-0 or a 2-1, Eddie hasn't really done his thing. Havertz has looked uncomfortable. Even though we've won, I think it will still, people will still be looking at Macau going,
I don't think there's much difference in Trossard and Eddie starting today, you know. I'll be real.
You ain't got
They're different types of players.
drop off between Jesus and Eddie.
I think as a player in this game, I don't think it's going to be
It
too much
is
difference.
incredible. There's too much of a gap, too much of a drop off. So you ain't going to get a great performance like you would do if Jesus was in the side. That's
It's a different
fact.
type of performance. He's more of a finisher.
Yeah, you could get a little
Eddie
bit of finishing
compared with,
today. We'll have to wait and
Jesus.
see.
No, Trossard's a quality.
but then Eddie does get goals in these games. I mean,
That's
know,
what I'm
for us
saying.
at
Yeah,
home, he
this
started,
game-
we had
Well,
questions. and he
as
got
you
the
heard,
goal.
Statman, 2 in 30 doesn't really bowl that well, does it?
Well, that's also very true.
Just quickly, just a small little conversation, or I don't know if it's a debate,
True, don't it?
but Bukayo Saka, I agree with it, by the way, captain today. Everyone's talking about Rice, you know, future captain. No one, I think that's the right decision. Bukayo Saka, everyone agreed. Bukayo Saka being the captain
Fine
today.
with him having
really?
the armband.
No, if
Really? No.
Oh,
Wouldn't have it. He's not captain material to me. When like Declan Rice is more captain material.
yeah. So if you're going to have Declan Rice as a future captain and he's the one that's earmarked, why wouldn't you bring him in when Saka probably
But
isn't?
guys, it's not a problem, is it? It's not like...
no, it's not
it's not a problem,
I'm saying it's a conversation. It's not a problem.
Declan Rice is a captain without the armband, like, you know what I mean? Saka, you know, it's just an interesting one. I'd rather Saka concentrate on getting back to his top form, you know, because of the injury and whatever. But you know, like Jesus had it the other day, you know.
Seen Eddie have it recently.
Captain's
Yeah,
thing is
Eddie-
not like it used to be.
Yeah,
is it?
Eddie had it not too long ago as
Eddie
well.
had it.
Yeah.
Eddie had it, yeah.
Not too long ago, yeah.
It's just like a gift now.
Ryan might
Yeah.
get it. I'm
Shout out to
surprised Ryan-
It's more like an award
Ryan
than
ain't
it is,
got
Yeah, it's more like a recognition.
Right,
symbol,
got it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, who's round doing his garden this week? Surely he must get the captaincy.
Some super chats making good points. Simon says, only thing I could think of is that Trossard's been injured twice, and because he was coming back, maybe they're easing him in. Semi also says that Trossard has had a hamstring injury before the international break.
Oh, that's a point.
He's easing in as well.
Fair point.
King Gunner says, question for Lee. Have you had any deluded Spurs fans telling you that they're going to win the league yet?
Of course I have. They're all out, and they like, you know what I mean? There was a victory parade going on in Cheshunt this week. You know what I mean? They've gone 5 points clear. You hear the parties going last night? As soon as the whistle went, I heard like champagne bottles going boop. You know what I mean? Like we're 5 points clear. You know what I mean? So they forgot to say that they've played a game extra. You know what I mean? Like old Spurs fans.
I was surprised about all the 5 points clear stuff coming out, because I was like, look, they might well be right, because trust Arsenal to balls it up. And
They are
City
5
go
points
to
clear.
No, I know, but they are. But no one else has played yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They forgot to mention
They've had a great
that.
start to the season. I'm one of the people that's willing to say, like, and I said it from early.
I don't think we'll want to talk, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I can't say a thing.
Yeah, let's not forget last season.
Yeah, no, of course. But
Yeah, but we ended up second. I can't see them coming
but
second.
Second is not first. And
No, but
Arsenal fans
Spurs are
after
good.
10 games are doing the same thing. So
Listen,
there's only so much you can say, really. Yeah, I mean, they're top of the league. Their expectation was hella low, like ours, probably top 4. would have been
very
the
similar
season.
Turkish.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But
That, you know.
I'll say that the one thing that worries me, to play as bad as they did last night, I only watched the first half, but to play as poor as that and to go and beat Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it's after 10 games. We know. We've watched Spurs for years. I mean, I was born in 71 and I haven't seen Spurs win the league. It was 10 years before I was born.
Yeah, but did you see Leicester win the league?
Yeah.
No, but...
And at the end of the day, what about people born in 2005?
Okay.
So you know, that's all relative. Let's be real.
It is relative, but I consider
8
myself
wins
quite
and
old.
2 draws. They've made a really
That
good
is an
start.
unbelievable
They've made a
start.
really,
It's an
really good
unbelievable
start.
start.
What I would say is, you know,
I don't think they've got a chance for the league. That's my point. But listen, same way a lot of Arsenal fans enjoyed being top for the majority last season, a lot of Tottenham fans will enjoy it.
Listen, I enjoyed last season, and if we'd have won 8 games and drawn 2, we'd be enjoying this season as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So give it.
We're not that far behind them. We're not that far behind them. We've had harder
They're a far
games.
better team than us at the moment.
No,
and the reason that
we've
they
had
are
harder games.
they are the reason they are is because they haven't got to. They haven't got to. They're far better than us at the moment because the reasons are they haven't got to chop and change like we have every single game. We're playing Champions League games. You have to bring us in. You ain't going to have the same sort of thing as we know. We've been there ourselves and all that. Like, you know, it's the same with Liverpool. The same with all those teams in Europe. Have got to change and all that. Like, so you ain't playing the same team week in, week out. Mikel wouldn't be playing. If he was playing 1 game a week, do you think we'd be making the changes we made today?
Let me ask you about one of those changes.
Say one thing. You completely contradicted yourself because you said about you can't believe Spurs are playing so badly that they've then won, and then you go and say that they're playing better than us.
On that performance yesterday, but I've seen them. You know, they've played. They played very, very well. You know, Arsenal played very well in Seville. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not many teams would have done that. The fact of the matter is that they're beating what's in front of them. And they've played very, very well to beat some of those teams.
Sheffield United, they played really well.
All right, they've beaten Burnley. They've gone away to Arsenal and outplayed us in the second half.
Got a bit lucky on
first
that.
half or whatever it was. We was fortunate to get away with it. At the end of the day, because it's Tottenham, you feel like you can't give them credit and whatever. Like 8 wins, 2 draws was better than what we done last season. We had a wonder season last season, like, you know what I mean?
It's not actually, but it's very.
It is because we'd lost to Man United.
Yeah, but
but we had more points. We had more points. So you're wrong.
You lost.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, you know, we'd lost the game. You know what I mean? They've gone 10 games unbeaten. We didn't do that last season. Did we do that or did we not?
We had more points.
We were unbeaten in a minute, by the way, and we're not playing as great as what we should be. The reason it is not because Spurs are better than us. It's because at the end of the day, we're having to chop and change and work and get our way through of what's a very, very difficult time of playing week in, week out at tough competition.
You just said Spurs were better than us.
At the moment, they are.
Right. Let's stop you two. let's talk about a player who has come into the 11.
5 points better than us, Julian. You're going to argue with that, are you? And say it's only 4?
Played one game more.
Well, there's still 5 points clear.
Turkish, your thoughts on Smith Rowe coming into the 11?
I love that.
Listen, I'm excited to see it. It's about time that he's been given a chance. And it's a very attacking midfield that we've I say that assuming Havertz is an attacker, but we give him credit for more off the ball stuff. But Emil Smith Rowe, we know what he brought, and to be honest with you, a lot of people say Emil Smith Rowe kept Arteta in a job at the time Arteta actually brought him in. I think it was Chelsea. We won the game. We turned around some of the poorest form I've seen Arsenal in my life. And he's just been unfortunate not to kick on, and it must be frustrating for him seeing Martinelli, Saka, Saliba, all the young ones around him kicking on. But he was given the 10, he was given a new contract. The injury problems hopefully are behind him now. And this today could be the start for him of the complete turnaround.
Where does he play today? Does he play in the Odegaard role? Does he play in the...
I'd say 10. 10's on the back of his shirt.
So you're saying Havertz plays that box to box? I think that as well. Yeah. And I also think that he played this role now on Wednesday as well. So he's going to have 2 games now to now.
It's actually the midfield 3 that ended the game against Chelsea.
Yes.
So you made the changes, Rice moved back to the 6, Havertz came on. But what we did was we went a little bit more long ball, so Havertz was going forward.
Odegaard was in the 10 at that point as well, wasn't he? I'm sure.
Well, it was a weird one, because at first Smith Rowe played in Odegaard's area and Xhaka was, Havertz was where Xhaka would have been. But as the game went on, Havertz went closer to Eddie up top, and Smith Rowe was drifting more to the left. I don't really know how this is going to look, but I'm interested.
I have to say, last week's performance after I'm watching.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Absolute
Chelsea
shocking
still 1-0 down, home to Brentford.
Because Brentford have shown you that Chelsea have hardly done anything.
But doesn't this... I'm not trying to make excuse. Arsenal were crap last week at Chelsea. But isn't that whole boxing thing, styles make fights, so true of football sometimes? Like, is this that surprising that Brentford come with a back 5, that they're very effective, on the counter going the other way, they can play some good football too, they're good off set pieces, and they sort of nick a goal lead at Stamford Bridge? That doesn't surprise me too much.
No. And also Chelsea were excellent last week, and today they're obviously not. We've been watching it, kind of having half an eye on it, and I haven't seen Chelsea create that much.
No. They were up for it a lot more.
That's the difference. They're up for it against Arsenal, and that's why they're not a great team. Because even poor teams can get up for it against better opposition.
I don't know what our game plan. I don't know what our game was.
Gallagher.
I don't know what our game plan was against Chelsea though. When I was sitting there watching it, I was like, I didn't see what Arteta was trying to do at that game. This, like you just mentioned there, Brentford can sit back and catch them on the counter, and like you said, styles make farts. For us, we didn't even get into our style or our rhythm. So. And is that down to fixture congestion? I don't know what that's down to, but we never.
We don't. Bad day at the office, but we played really well in Seville, and hopefully this gives us the. I don't know,
impetus.
We saw a fluidity that we were happy with, even though it wasn't last season's Arsenal. We looked better. There was something about Arsenal that felt a bit more natural in the way we played football. And hopefully we see us build on that. But Arteta's made a lot of changes. To remind you of it all, you can see the 11 on screen. Raya keeps his place despite a lot of changes. Ben White, Saliba keep their place at right back and centre back. Kivior partner Saliba at the back, and Zinchenko comes back in at left back. Rice sitting in the 6th holding midfield position. Havertz and Smith Rowe either side of him to complete the midfield 3 that ended the game at Stamford Bridge last week. Saka, Martinelli on either wing, with Nketiah leading the line. Saka wearing the armband. Ramsdale on the bench with Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Jorginho, El Neni, Vieira, Odegaard, Nelson and Trossard. So players that can do something, but Arsenal's captain, Martin Odegaard, is on the bench. Is that Arteta just rotating, alternating, looking ahead to West Ham and Newcastle away next week? Or is that maybe him getting ruthless in terms of performances? I'm also going to try and get the Sheffield United 11 up on screen very, very quickly.
I want to see Vieira today.
Do you think he's had to go with Raya today because of that performance? I think he has. He's got to stick with him, hasn't he? I think if he'd have dropped him today,
he could have dropped him though.
No, because I think
he could not dropped the wrong way.
Not on the back of what
he could have. We won. There was what you worried about that one punch. It didn't cause us any damage. He could have rotated Ramsdale in today, and no, I don't think anyone would have batted an eyelid. I think he'd have been more consistent, Arteta, in what he was saying before about how he's going to rotate if he played Ramsdale. Say now I'm sitting here thinking Ramsdale's not got a look in until obviously he'll play in the Carabao Cup after that. He's not going to play again. He's not going to play, which I think we said on Sky. It's time for him to probably which pains me to say, look for another club.
So the Sheffield United 11, Fotheringham, Bogle, Trusty returns to Arsenal, playing his first game at the Emirates. Robinson, Thomas, Vinny Souza, Norwood captains the team. McAtee, I believe that talented young player from Man City's academy, I believe there's McAtee. Yeah. Hamer, Soleimani, Brewster, Davis, Baldock, Larouci, Fleck, Osborne, Brooks, Archer, Trory, and One on the bench as well.
So they've got McBurney.
Yeah, he's been out for a while.
Archer's on the bench, but Burnley's not available. Apparently Sheffield United have a lot of injuries, so let's see what we get from Arsenal in this game. It's like we said, look, it is all about 3 points first and foremost, but there are certain opportunities where Arsenal can actually go, all right, this isn't Seville, this isn't Chelsea away, this isn't Man City at home, this isn't Goodison Park, this isn't Palace, where there's been a degree of this could be a really slippery one. Now Sheffield United, they're a Premier League side, and I don't discount anyone in the Premier League, but it's an opportunity to build momentum. I don't even need to see a 6-0, but I want to see something that displays Arsenal going up a level in an attacking sense, because we started to see that against Sevilla. If we're going to win the league, we need to build that momentum at some point. Next week it's West Ham away, and then it's Sheffield United, West Ham away, and then Newcastle United away as well. Turkish, your score prediction. You've given it a few times already, I think. But
3-0.
Cool. What did I say on Forever? Did I say 3-1? I did, I think. Yeah. Julian?
You're looking at a team that's lost to Lincoln. You have to hit 4 or 5 against them.
It's not coming back to beat us.
Yeah.
You're looking at a team that's lost to Lons.
Yeah, but Lons are a lot better than Lincoln.
But we can all make it.
And also the Lincoln game was at Sheffield
United. They put up fights against all three of those
They
sides.
put up fights, but it's Lincoln. I mean, I'd say 4-0. I was going to say 5, but you've talked me down. 4-0.
I went 4-1 on the preview. I want to go back 3-1. I don't think we'll score as many goals now. Yeah.
Surely we get a clean sheet with
McBurney. I've gone 2.
But look at their injuries as well. They're decimated.
All right, cool.
What are you going
It's an interesting lineup.
3-1.
Yeah, I went 3-1 on Forever. I was sticking with that.
You sticking with it?
Yeah. I mean, look, they've got injuries. We've rotated a lot. It's a fascinating lineup. This is definitely a more intriguing match than I thought it'd be going into it. I thought we'd see 11 we somewhat recognise, and it'd be about right Arsenal, let's raise our performance. I'm really interested by certain performances. Can Havertz get to that box-to-box role that we've been trying to see him excel in, that Arteta seems to have signed him for? Can Smith Rowe earn a place in the team? Because he's, of all the players and their talent, he's the one I've got one of the most hope for, even though Arteta hasn't sort of shown that. But he gives him a start today. Let's see, Eddie leads the line. Get a couple goals, mate. All right, everyone, big thanks for all your comments and thoughts as well. We'll be live in about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, to start looking ahead to the watch-along as well. Arsenal vs Sheffield United and all the other 3 o'clock games. We'll be reacting to the results and goals as they go in. Big thanks. See you in a little bit.